People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Now, you asked me a few weeks ago, would I like the Premier League season to end? I would have said yes. If you ask me now, do I want to play Premier League football? I would say yes. We've won 3 games. We're doing well. Spirits are up. I think as Arsenal fans, we need to be very wary on drawing conclusions based on these 3 games in the same way it was doom and gloom before that. We've now turned the corner after that. But, we start as we mean to go on. There's a lot of fixtures to come. There's a lot of tough fixtures to come. But for now, or at least for Saturday, we put the Premier League to a hold. It was nice to obviously beat West Brom and go into the FA Cup. Off the back of winning and things like that. And for me personally, people, again, I want to win the FA Cup. Again, one reason I want to win it is first and foremost, it might not be the Champions League. It might not be the Premier League. It might not be even qualifying for top 4, which I don't agree with it, but it's as big as a trophy. And some teams, some fans, I can't begrudge them. They'd rather, get top 4 and just qualify for the Champions League for the sake of it versus winning the FA Cup. But for me, I'm an Arsenal fan. We've got a fetish for the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup. It's been the one thing we've been winning, what in a sense of why we've been joke men. We won it last season. I would love to retain it, people. We retained it a couple of years ago. Why not try and do it this year? It's a trophy. I'm seeing Spurs in the final. I want to be in the final. And again, I'm only a football fan, so I should only think of it from this aspect. But we all know how big it was to qualify for Europe last season in any capacity. And I'm not saying the club weren't. I know the fans therefore were. I know the manager was. I know the players were. But was those at the club happy that Arteta won an FA Cup? It's a good end to a turbulent season, or were they happy because it gets us European football? If we didn't get European football, we're in trouble. And I know we've won 3 games. We're still in trouble. We might go up the table. We might drop points and go down it. But we all know how big European football is in terms of finances and the little pennies it gives us and allows us to do. There's still a prospect of having no European football at all at this football club. And I know they change the FA Cup rules and things every year, but forgive me if I'm wrong, you still get in the Europa League via this. I know there's a lot of changes, so I could be wrong. Forgive me for misquoting and misinformation, but there's also that element. And were the club happy that we won the FA Cup for cup purposes, or the fact that we're in Europe? And again, for me, if we're really going to do this clear out thing in January and between January and the summer, we need European football in some capacity, whether that's winning the Europa League, winning the FA Cup. By God's grace, even though I don't think it can happen, somehow messing around and finding ourselves in contention for qualifying for the Champions League, which is our goal at the end of the season, or was our goal in August. So we know there's plenty of reasons, there's plenty of reasons to want to play well. We're defending this cup. I want to win trophy. It's a chance of silverware if you can get into the Europa League. I'd imagine some road. Do you know what? The road, we'll get onto the teams in a second, but the rotation aspect is something that I'm not too sure on, because on one hand, I do think you can play a strong team, but on the other hand, I do think Arteta will potentially use this as a way to somewhat give game time to those that really just simply have not been getting game time, really and truly, people. And we go into it against Newcastle. Newcastle in the league have been quite woeful, so this might be a welcome relief. I know there's a lot of pressure with Steve Bruce. I'm sure you speak to many Newcastle fans, and I'm sure they won't have much time, people, to say anything. They've lost it. Brentford went out to Spurs, but if you lot remember, that could have been Newcastle in the semi-finals of a cup. So in the cup, they've been quite poor. They've been making it harder than it needs to be in the league. You'd probably have to go back to early December, the last time they claimed a victory. Since then, they've been sliding. But as you lot know, it's the magic of the FA Cup. The FA Cup could be a welcome relief for Newcastle and Newcastle's men. It could be a welcome relief for the team. You also need to remember the magic of the FA Cup is a real thing. So to a degree, even more, as an Arsenal fan, form goes out the window anyways when we play teams 9 times out of 10. But it should go out the window even more now because we're playing in the FA Cup. And we know what the FA Cup is. Like I said, there isn't anything more to say other than I want to win it, people. Apologies. I'm actually trying to find. I had some more information for you guys, people, in relation to Newcastle. And again, we know Newcastle have been heavily impacted by injuries and COVID and the rest of it, people. We know, Jamal Lewis, Jamal Lascelles, the Brad Carr. There's a lot of people that have sadly missed out because of COVID. People have had knocks and all of these sort of things. I'm also scared of Andy Carroll, people, because something just tells me he's going to score in this game after scoring last week. It's taken him 10 years to score his last Newcastle goal. There's 10 years apart. Obviously, He's been at a couple other clubs. But yeah, people, it's the FA Cup. There isn't anything more really to say. You don't know what the thing is. For me, I want to keep winning as well, because the more wins you can get, no matter the competition, it keeps the feel-good factor coming. And you don't know us, what the fixtures that are coming already. We need to keep, the confidence up. We will lose again this season, and I don't want, when that loss does come miraculously for the other teams, and sadly for us, we're not confident again. We're frail, we're fragile, and we're scared. I don't want that to be the case, people. But that's why I want to keep winning, regardless of the competition. Let's keep winning. We did what we needed to do in the Europa. Let's advance into the FA Cup, and we're defending it. So we have a right to name the strong team. We have a right to defend it properly. I don't want to go out at the first stage of asking. That's disgraceful. As you can see, as I've got it here, allow me to zoom in, people, for you guys. Apologies. We're defending cup holders, simple as that. We form, but we need to keep winning in all comps. So again, the more wins, the more feel-good factor, the more of a run we put together and whatnot. Like I said, this could be a welcome relief for Steve Bruce, because they're under pressure due to their Premier League performances, and they lost to Bradford. I know most fans probably want Steve Bruce out, but at the end of the day, if he wins, that gives him some credit in the bank, and this could be a welcome relief for his players, because I don't know how Newcastle going to rotate things. Have Newcastle players been feeling the pressures of the Premier League? Both teams have really underperformed this season. If we just look at the Premier League table, we're 11th. God knows where Newcastle are at. Again, they're not even in the top half. So what does that tell you? It's not letting me scroll down. What's going on? I don't know why it's not letting me scroll down, people. Let me just look on my phone. No, apologies for that, people. No clue why it's trying to do me dirty, but you know how the thing's set. I'll actually bring it up. We're 11th. I'm pretty sure they're 15th. I could be wrong. Apologies, like I said. Let me see if that was £1 million question. Yeah, they're 15th, people. So 11th versus 15th is nothing to do with the Premier League. And to be fair with you, we've got to play Newcastle. So it's a good way to potentially, assuming they don't make any changes, to study them. We've got them in the league, people. We need to win in the FA Cup. Then we've got Palace, I believe. Then we've got Newcastle again. Then, you've seen it. The end of January to February, it's a tough game of fixtures. We've got to play all the Midland clubs again. We've got to welcome United to our place. We've got the Europa League to come in. So again, we've got to want to play well, people. And for me, this is probably one of the only, again, I'm a bit torn in relation to the team, what team, because for me, I name our strongest team. We're not playing for a sec. We might as well. But on the other hand, this might be one of the very few occasions that people get a chance to, how do I make it make sense? One of the few occasions that people get a chance to sort of show Arteta that, yo, I know everyone else has been playing well, but I'm decent, whether that's the Pepes, whether that's, Nketiah, I'm at, even in relation to the striker, I'm torn. Do you go Aubameyang through the middle, let him get a goal in relation to his form? I don't think you can afford to really drop Lacazette. So there's that in that regards. Obviously, Eddie Nketiah, probably the one I think is going to play because Arteta loves him. And like you say, I don't like to get drawn up on other teams and things like that. But the last two victories they had in the Premier League, you're going back to end of November, early December, really and truly. The festive period hasn't been kind to them at all. Battered against against Leeds United, dropped points against a 10-man Fulham, lost courtesy of Josh De Silva in the quarterfinals of the EFL. No shame in losing 2-0 to Manchester City. Let's be real, that's a good point for Liverpool. Against Liverpool, we'll give him that. But generally, 15th a point doesn't do too much for Newcastle. And they lost to Leicester recently as well. This was their last formation they went with. Yedlin, since he's come back in the team, I think he's done all right. Joe Linton doesn't score too many goals, but he's a powerhouse. Callum Wilson's done quite well since moving to Newcastle. And that's someone we've got to look out for. They went with, you can see it here, 5-4-1. I don't know if they'll go with that again. If they do, we're going to have to break that down. In relation to team news, people, in Arsenal's perspective, looking at it really, really quickly, people, we're buoyed by the return potentially of Gabriel and Partey. And I know a lot of Arsenal fans have been saying, especially for Gabriel with Holding and Marie's forming that, yeah, they have to earn their way back in the team, and I get that. But for me, in a healthy way, Gabriel and Partey walk back in. I'm using this as an opportunity to give them game time, but they walk back in. it's lovely to see that Thomas Partey is now back in training after recovering. You know, he's obviously lacking match fitness after being out for a month, and we'll obviously have to continue to assess him. But it looks decent in that regard. You know, Gabriel's been missing because of suspension, and lastly, you know, sadly, COVID protocols. I don't think there's any other injuries or any injury news excluding them two. So when you get into the lineup, for me, people, it's a bit of a techie one, people. It's a really techie one, because again, I'm not entertaining Runnison. You know, Arthur Okonkwo has stepped up to third choice in relation to what's happening with Matt Macy allegedly departing the club. But for me, you play Leno. Again, I don't think you can really drop Xhaka and Bellerin and things like that, because everybody's playing well. Play your best play, not necessarily your best players, your informed players. So for me, the first lineup I went with Leno. Maitland-Niles comes in for me at right back. I went with Gabriel and David Luiz at centre half, but really you have a tough time picking the centre halves because Marie and Holding don't deserve to miss out, really and truly. I would like to give Tierney a rest. Maybe you move Maitland-Niles to left back. You can play Bellerin, but you know, it's an important game. We got to remember this is knockout competition. You've got to play a strong side. So for me, Tierney is part of our strongest team, really and truly. Apart from, you know, I don't think there's too much between Rob Holding and David Luiz, basically. Obviously, you could say Marie. Is it time to really test out a new partnership? If it was Marie and Gabriel, knockout competition, potentially not. Maitland-Niles, I don't think he can complain if what expected is that he's on the bench, but I would go with him. Initially, I forgot Partey could be a part of it, people. So for me, if Partey's fit, Partey starts. If anything, you give him 60 minutes, you take him off if need be. I would personally go with Ceballos, but I think Xhaka probably complements him a tiny bit more at this moment in time. Xhaka's playing a bit better than Ceballos. El Nene might come back into the team. You know, Partey and El Nene have done quite well. We all remember United away, so maybe that's a thing. Smith Rowe for me should stay in the 10 position. I do expect Joe Willock to play, but again, he's done well in the last 3 games he's had. You know, let's keep the form up. Sometimes it's very underrated keeping the same lineup and keeping stability, which is why I actually will not be surprised, and I can't begrudge it if Arteta names the exact same starting 11. Now, for me, again, Bukayo Saka starts, but I think this is a chance to at least just try and save that young man's legs in it. Like, we should have enough based on what I can see on my screen. That should be enough to put up a fight against Newcastle. Now, Saka's on the bench and ready and waiting. You know, a part of me feels you're actually going to see Willian and Pepe ahead of Martinelli, who I think should be in the team personally. I would start Pepe. You know, he ain't been involved in the last 2 game weeks. Again, Saka's emergence on the right wing. Willian being a love child of Arteta or got something over him, them and they're going to play ahead of you. So start and show me something, innit? Show the fans something, show that you can say something, because you have got some quality. You just need to show it consistently. You know, at the end of the game, man need to be speaking about, what was Arteta doing forgetting about Pepe? Now there's genuine options, you know. Again, I don't think any of you guys' performances are going to go as far as to play you lot into thinking for Crystal Palace or whoever we've got next game, but it could go some way. So again, we've got good options. For me, I want to play the better players. This ain't Carling Cup. This ain't Europa League to be using it as a fitness exercise for Willian. Ironically, maybe even Pepe's on the bench and Willian's on the right. And then you've got Martinelli on the left. Can't really make space for Reece Nelson. I know he's had injuries and things. It's a bit harsh in that regards. If you rest Smith Rowe, then I guess you could play around with that. You know, Martinelli for me, you know, goes back on the left-hand side. Through the middle is where I'm having the biggest problems, as much as a problem at centre-half, because you know, you can't drop Lacazette. Based on current form, you can't drop him. He's one of the only players scoring goals and he's playing well. You know, Aubameyang, on his current form, he can be dropped, but is there an element of you play him, people, try hope he gets a goal, confidence and all of those sort of things? Probably Aubameyang be rested and put on the bench. Or will he use this to give Eddie and Nketiah minutes, which I think it will be Eddie to start. For me, it'd be a toss-up between Lacazette and Aubameyang. I would like to see Balogun, who's probably completing a move away from here, on the bench, like with Reece Nelson, personally. And as I've said, that's the biggest thing. Who plays up front? I do think it's very harsh of me based on what I'm doing on Holding and Marie. I know football is harsh, but neither deserve to lose their way in the lineup. You know, I want Saka, but maybe this is a chance to rest him. And like I said, if anything, bring him off the bench. I do think he's going to start Joe Willock, people, personally. So make of that what you will. But this is for once, we're starting to get some good problems collectively in the team about who plays and who starts and all of these things. Now, these are the best bits I saw from the press conference from Arteta. I'm not going to bore you with the rest. But he said, when asked on the contrast between 3 weeks ago and now, he said, Yes, it's great to win the last 3 games. The spirit, the energy around the place, and the vibe is always better. I feel better. In this Christmas period, to win 3 games in a row is never easy in this league, and we've done it. So hopefully we can pick up a much better run. And for me, that's what it is. It's all about all competitions. Again, he was asked on his memories from last year. I'm not going to read that, but obviously it was a nice way to end the season. He was asked on, he had to plug his old manager. Wenger's won it 7 times. You've only got 6 more trophies to go. So that's what, as unrealistic as it is, you should aspire to. Like, we've got no chance of really doing things. But any, Europa League is even a myth in my opinion. But we should believe we can win it. We should be trying to win it. In my head, as unrealistic as I think it is, these boys should still be of the thinking that we can complete our very own treble, in a sense of, you qualify via the league domestically for the top 4, you win an FA Cup, you win the Europa League. Can you do 2 of the 3, or at minimum, can you achieve 1? I won't be happy with just an FA Cup, because for me, the league is the bread and the butter. But at the end of the day, it's a trophy. History only remembers trophy and winning. At the end of the day, again, to hold on to my point a couple of minutes ago, there's the Champions League. The European aspect of the FA Cup, assuming that's still a thing. And obviously, it's just about saving face, really and truly. There's enough reason to want to win it, and we're defending it. He was asked on the 4th and 5th draw being made at the same time, and it was what I feel as well. He said, it seems like every year we're changing some rules in every competition, in every cup. Something needs to be different. I don't know what it is. I think we are doing something good in this country, in that every cup is becoming more and more important. For example, you saw in the Carabao Cup that teams involved in the semi-finals and final compared to the last 18 years has improved, which is a fact. He said everyone wants to win a trophy. Everyone knows how difficult it is to win a trophy. So you have to stick to every competition that is raising the levels, certainly. But we can do things a little bit simpler sometimes, which is true. 2 players that are linked with a move away from the club, on whether Mesut Ozil could be involved. He said, we'll decide what to do, considering he hasn't played for next to 10 months, considering he's been given time off. I'm not sure of his physical condition, but I think there won't be any other opportunity to at least give him something close to a send-off. Regardless what you think about Ozil, I think he deserves the right, and the fans deserve the right, to say a goodbye. Hopefully that could be on Saturday, realistically not. Balogun's actually been linked to a move away to a foreign club, and Arteta spoke of him highly. He said he's fit and available. Again, his progression and the use of time that he's had with us has been incredible. He will keep having chances while he's with us. So again, maybe that while he's with us will be for the season. Maybe that will be for longer. He spoke on Thomas Partey, and it's more of the same. He said, well, we have an extra 2 training sessions, and we'll assess after whether he is completely, fully ready to participate against Newcastle, or if we're going to have to leave it another few days for the Palace game. For me, if there's any doubt, leave him out for the Palace game. Because we messed around with him, and it shot us in the foot. We lost him for a month because we played around with his fitness against Spurs. So if he's not fully fit, I don't care what the player says, because clearly Partey is a winner and he'll put his body on the line. You need to save players for themselves. If the medical staff do not think he's fully fit, not carrying a knock, but able to play, fully fit and ready to go, leave him out, because in the grand scheme of things, it's just simply not worth it, people. So yeah, he said he's been training good and he's got extra training sessions. So we'll see what happens in relation to him. That's a young player that's got nothing to do with this preview and his notes for my other live stream people. I say live stream. Just some quick statistics as well, people. Apologies, give me 1 second. I actually found these as well. Apologies, people. When you look at it, having lost their first 3 FA Cup ties with Newcastle, Arsenal have progressed and won 4 of their last 5 against the Magpies. Most recently, a 3-0 win at the Emirates in the 4th round in 2007-08. Newcastle's last 3 games against Arsenal have in the FA Cup have all ended in 3-0 defeats, people. So again, hopefully that's more of the same. Arsenal have only been eliminated in the 3rd round stage of the FA Cup in 1 of their last 24 campaigns, people. As you lot remember, in 2017-18, we lost to Nottingham Forest away from home. Newcastle have been eliminated from 10 of their 11 FA Cup ties against fellow Premier League opposition. The last time they were able to win was when Blackpool were in it in 2012. So again, you've got to be wary when there's question marks over a manager, when there's injuries, speculation over players, negative records for Newcastle, there could be a fight back, and this has nothing to do with the league. So maybe they should play with a handbrake, and without the handbrake, sorry. For us, let's not go there with complacency. Just because we've won 3 games doesn't mean we're going to make it 4. Let's have that desire, that fight, that grit, and that determination. We'll have to see. Like I said, people, I'd love to hear you lots line up. So please comment and tell me your lineups, because for me, the biggest decisions is Partey, if Partey's not 100% fit, that shouldn't play. Centre half, Del Holding and Marie deserve to miss out. Up front, do you go with Eddie? Do you go with Balogun? Do you go with Aubameyang? Do you go with Lacazette? You know, do you bring in Pepe? I can't imagine too many of you will say it, but do you bring in Willian? You know, what do you do? There's some good problems, people. I just hope we're able to get over the line. Bit annoyed this is playing in the evening. Or why couldn't we play in the early afternoon like anyone else in the FA Cup? But it is what it is, people. On that note, yeah, man, thank you for listening to my Arsenal versus Newcastle FA Cup preview. Check out the rest of my other content. Please be a good sport and drop this a like. I'll be back in a bit, people. On that note, though, DG, I'm out.